I'm coming with you.
Will Ken and Barbie finally kiss in Barbie 2? Is it true that the protagonist of the second Barbie movie will be another version of the doll and not Margot Robbie? In an interview, Margot Robbie revealed that she had only one regret throughout the Barbie movie, not having kissed Ken. Hardly anyone knows, but the scene ended up being cut from the film. But it may still be in the second Barbie movie. Now, we're going to tell you everything we already know about the upcoming film of the world's most famous doll, which is already in the works. Ken's Kiss. Barbie is achieving so much success that even before the first movie was released, people were already wondering when the second movie would come out. And if there was one thing that many Barbie fans wanted to see in the movie, it was definitely a scene with Ken and Barbie sharing a little kiss. Ken is so devoted and supportive that most of the audience spent a good part of the movie rooting for that long-awaited kiss to happen. He himself, Ken, said that he wouldn't exist if it weren't for Barbie. He accompanied her to the real world and was with her during all the most important moments. The funny thing is, it wasn't just us who felt that way, even Margot Robbie's friends missed the scene too. After watching the movie, many of them sent messages to the actress asking why, after all, she, as Barbie and Ken, didn't share a single kiss throughout the film. After all, Margot wasn't just the protagonist of the film, she was also a producer, so many plot decisions were made collaboratively between her and the film's director, Greta Gerwig. Margot later admitted that, and I quote, "The lack of the kiss wasn't a victory for me." In other words, she regretted not filming that scene. In fact, there is even a suspicion that the scene was actually filmed but ended up being cut from the movie. When Ryan Gosling, the actor who played Ken, was asked about the scene and why it didn't make it into the film, he said the following: "It was quite funny trying to figure out what their idea of a kiss would be. I'm so glad all of that got cut." So when he mentions that it got cut, most people understand that he refers to the concept of the scene. But some internet users have come up with the theory that, yes, the scene was actually filmed, but they decided to save it for the second movie of the celebrity doll. Is that really true?
I'm actually not sure.
If it is, someday in the not-too-distant future, we'll find out. Fart opera. Hey folks, several scenes, in addition to the kiss between the two protagonists, ended up being cut from the live-action Barbie movie. One of them, which many people talk about and speculate might be in the second film, is none other than a fart opera. Yes, you heard that right. Director Greta Gerwig said that for the Barbie movie, the production tried to fit in a fart joke at some point during the film. This completely contrasts with the perfect world of Barbie Land, since all the Barbies, every single one of them, are so flawless that it's hard to imagine them talking about this topic, or even having a symphony of farts throughout the pinkest movie of recent times. Greta had this to say about the idea: "We had a fart opera in the middle of the film. I thought it was very funny, but that wasn't the consensus. The editor, Nick Hoy, stated that the scene didn't fit well into the story, and that's why it was eventually cut. But it does exist, it just didn't make it into the final cut, which leaves the possibility open for us to have a fart opera in the next Barbie movie." Ken and the Weird Barbie. Speaking of the romance between Barbie and Ken, we discovered another incredibly interesting scene that got cut from the film. It involves a scene where Weird Barbie and Ken are by the pool and the slide at Barbie's house. Barbie is holding a shirtless Ken who appears to be unconscious, leaning on her lap. She runs her hand over Ken's toned abs, and they seem to be having a conversation. Or who knows, maybe something more than that, just a chat might have happened at that moment. Perhaps this could have been the Barbie and Ken's kiss moment, considering there are various Barbies and Kens, and this could be a combination, even if it's not the preference of all fans. By the way, let us know down below which Barbie you'd like Ken to kiss in the next movie. The original Barbie or the weird Barbie? Just not both, okay? Director of Barbie 2. Barbie is simply a box office phenomenon. In its first weekend, the movie raked in $162 million, and so far, it has amassed nearly $800 million in total revenue. It's almost certain that the film will become the highest-grossing movie of 2023, surpassing the earnings of the Mario Bros. Movie, especially since it will still be showing for a few more weekends. With all this success, Greta Gerwig might reconsider her decision, as she has previously stated that she currently doesn't have any ideas for getting involved in the sequel. The director said, "That's how I feel at the end of each film, like I'll never have a new idea and that I've done everything I wanted to do. For me, right now, I'm out." Despite her statement, it's highly likely that she might change her mind, given how much the fans loved her work and the direction she brought to the story, especially since Greta, along with her husband, wrote the screenplay for the film. Not only the fans, but the actors also loved working with her, especially Margot. In other words, the film's story is deeply connected to the director's mind and heart. It would be strange to see the sequel without the same emotional connection, even if the story is different. But if it's not her, we hope Warner chooses someone who can create another fantastic and pink continuation worthy of Barbie. Margot Robbie's comeback! On the other hand, Margot Robbie, who played the original Barbie and the film's protagonist, has already discussed a sequel with Warner executives, who hold the production rights for the celebrity doll movies. When asked about the sequel, unlike Greta, Margot didn't deny her participation and even mentioned that there are not just one, but several possibilities for a second film to explore. After all, there are so many characters and interesting aspects in Barbie's story that good stories will surely abound. She even went on to say the following: "At this moment, a second film could go in a million different directions." But shortly after, she played it coy, mentioning that planning a second film while the first one is still establishing itself could be a trap, especially since Barbie is still in theaters. However, she has no doubt that a second film is in the works.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Theories. One of the paths mentioned by the original Barbie, which intrigued many people who saw the trailers and clips of the movie, is how weird Barbie already knew about the real world and knew the decision that needed to be made by the original Barbie to have a new experience and discover how different everything was out there compared to the perfect life in Barbie Land. One of the most talked about theories states that there is a real possibility that the second film will explore the story of how all this happened to Weird Barbie, who might not have always been weird, and how she had a perfect life and even had the company of her own Ken, perhaps explaining the nostalgia she felt in the scene of the catch. All of this could explain the unanswered questions from the first film's story and how she became the Weird Barbie who knows that the answers lie in the real world and not in Barbie Land. This could include real people she met and the lessons she learned, just as Barbie learned from Gloria and her teenage daughter. In fact, speaking of theories about the second film and Weird Barbie, many believe that she might have belonged to Gloria when she was a child, which would explain the strong connection between Margot Robbie's Barbie and Gloria throughout the story. So, without a doubt, this theory makes perfect sense and could fit seamlessly into the plot of a second Barbie movie. Mattel. The latest information we found was about the company responsible for creating the doll, said regarding the development and release of a Barbie movie sequel. The company is delighted with the success and impact of the movie, which has resulted in excellent marketing and sales of licensed products featuring the celebrity doll. This has shed even more light on the dozens, perhaps hundreds of Barbie versions that the company has already created and could potentially use in an upcoming production. The CEO of the brand, Non Krez, stated Barbie has many different iterations. She has a family and many elements in her universe. This statement was enough for many people to speculate not only about a Barbie movie sequel, but also about spin-offs, where her sisters, such as Skipper, Stacy, and especially Chelsea, could be protagonists in their respective films or all together in one movie, which would be even more exciting. Non also mentioned that the most important thing initially is to make a big hit, which they have indeed achieved. With that success, the intention would undoubtedly be to create a franchise of movies that can continue to connect with the audience. So, if it's up to the folks at Mattel, you can be sure that this was just the first of many films to come in the Barbie universe. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get a Ken movie, which would be super cool too. That's what we've discovered so far about the upcoming live-action Barbie movie. How about you? Have you already watched the Barbie movie? Are you planning to watch it? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye-bye!